What is going on, bros? Tis I, T-Shroom here for you. Going to be checking out some charts, going to be looking at some economic data prints and how the market is reacting. But before we get too far, go ahead and like the smash button. It would really, really make my day. I don't know if Tim's going to be joining us for the 3 p.m. show today. He still sounds like he's feeling a little under the weather. His voice is impaired by what seems like strep throat, I think. I'm not sure. But, yeah, not great. But you're tuned in, you're locked in with T-Shroom. I'm considering, potentially having somebody on for the 3 p.m. show, having on a guest. Let me know who you think would be a good guest to have. If I ask anybody, I'm sure they'd say yes if they're available. So just let me know who you think would be a good pairing. Good pairing with a nice Chardonnay. That I think of myself as. All right, well, let's go ahead and jump over to the charts because they're actually looking a little bit decently more bullish than I thought they were. First, wholesale prices rose 0.5% in April, more than expected. So the expectation here was consensus 0.3, forecast 0.2, previous 0.1, actual 0.5.
Bruh.
So not good at all there. That's not what we wanted. But I will say that we did enough yesterday to be able to stay bullish, in my opinion, even for the short term, which is this. We got an entire candle body print on the daily chart. First of all, above, now the whole body didn't close above the midline of the Bollinger Band on the daily, but it did close above this 71,300 level, which, for those of you, this is like the 9th time I feel like I've shown this week, but for those of you who don't know, this level coincides with the candle body closes back here from November 2021, the highest candle body closes of all time until the present, the classical era, if you will, which have closed much, much higher up here at 71,300, call it, again. And now you're sitting at home, wait, I thought the all-time high was much higher. It is. Just relax. We wicked all the way up to 73,900, call it. So there you go. And that's what this level is back here on the 1 hour, the daily. So the fact that we got a candle body close above that is bullish, right? We hadn't gotten one since back here in May 7th, right? We hadn't got a candle body close above that. So this is bullish. Now, did it close higher than the previous ones? No, which is going ahead and, for me, signaling, I'm going to recycle this line here, signaling a consolidation. This is kind of what I'm thinking now, is if you get this uptrending line of support, which is being obeyed pretty well, even to the daily candle today we've got going on today, and then you've got this, then you got this. So this would be an ascending triangle, and I believe ascending triangles are bearish. So that would probably be a bearish signal there, unfortunately. So let's keep moving. Just showing it how it looks, showing how it is here. Looks to me anyway. Let me know if you guys are seeing something I'm not. So this would be bearish because this is an ascending triangle. These, I believe, usually break to the downside. Let's measure it out. Let's see. Let me kill the big fib. Well, no, let's keep the big fib, actually. Let's measure it out here and see what kind of breakout ski we might get. What the heck happened to my line? There we go. So if we broke out today to the downside, this would take us back to 58. So that wouldn't be too bad. That wouldn't be terrible. If we delayed and had a breakout, that could go down to 58 and some change as well. But yeah, looking like we're in an ascending triangle here. Let me know. What do you think? Crux of Crypto said, GM bros. He actually spelled it out. Good morning. So somebody's not being lazy. We appreciate it, Crux. Munchie Hayes said, Army Piper. Okay. Piper must be in the chat. Let me scroll up and see if I can hunt down my Piper. I don't see him. But Kaya Reacts said smashed. Likes are smashed. Very good. Wonder why somebody said something about Piper. Let me know in the chat. Is something going on with Piper I don't know about? Let me know. Munchie Hayes is saying Army Piper, so I don't know. All right, let's keep moving here. Let's take a look at the Bitcoin on the MACD. Pretty much nothing to see here on the daily, except, I mean, when you have movement like this, it's like, it's bullish, I guess, but it's like, it doesn't want to make up its mind, I guess. I don't know. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm a little bit stumped on this MACD reading here on the daily. What does this mean? It just sideways movement with a slight bias towards the upside, I guess, has been the momentum. And I guess that's pretty much where we are. It's been sideways with a slight momentum to the upside. Yeah. Seeing something here, something similar here. Sideways with a slightly bullish bias. And then the money flows red. So, there's not a lot to pull out here that's overly bullish. Again, I did show you that the candlestick closed above 61,003, which is something we haven't seen in several days, going back to the 7th of May. So, that's positive, but we're now consolidating in an ascending triangle, it looks. So it seems, after yet again another failed breakout of this, I took away the line, but of this wedge. Actually, it's not a failed breakout. It's testing it right now. Pardon me. Let's go to the 4-hour, and I'll show you what I mean. So, if we draw a line here to here, we're actually still we're above it, right? The candlesticks right now are still, you could say, confirming this. So in some sense, I don't want to be too bearish here, because this is, the investing class could potentially see this as an opportunity to break out and go ahead and buy in and fulfill that prophecy. But I don't know. This one's a little bit of a head scratcher, bros, because it's just so boring right now. The price action is so boring. I'm not gonna lie to you. It's tough right now. If you're hanging in there and you're trading, man, you are doing the Lord's work for sure. It's tough. But we did get a print this morning. Let's dive into that a little bit deeper. The wholesale prices jumped more than expected in April, putting up another potential roadblock to interest rate cuts anytime soon. Yes, that's the important part. The producer price index, a measure of what producers receive for the goods they produce, increased 0.5% for the month, higher than the 0.3% Dow Jones estimate. The Labor Department's Bureau of Labor Statistics reported on Tuesday. However, the March reading was revised from an initial report of 0.2 gain to a decline of 0.1. So that's the old print. This is the new print that matters. Stripping out volatile food and energy prices, core PPI also increased 0.5% compared to the 0.2% Dow Jones estimate. Yes, including trade services from Core Group showed a 0.4% increase on the month and a 3.1% on the 12-month basis, the highest level since April 2023. Ouch. So that's not great. Man. So let's zoom out here. Let me go to the inflation chart. I don't pull this up super often, but for those of you who are maybe a little bit newer to investing, a little newer to trading, I want to really illustrate this well because this is important. This is important. So I've got way too many indicators here for this, but this is just so as you can see, a nice straight line. So this is inflation. This is what we're going to be getting tomorrow. So we're going to be getting an inflation print tomorrow, around 8:30, I believe, and that'll be coming out. And we want it to be essentially lower. We want it to be 3.5. 3.5 would be basically a home run. 3.4 would obviously be better. The lower, the better. But we really need it to be at least below 3.8. If we get a 3.7, that's okay, right? That's a first base hit. I'm going to stop using American sports analogies. 3.7 would be good, right? Because that would be okay, I suppose. A 3.6 would be good. A 3.5 would be really great, right? What if we get something higher than 3.8, right? I think that's what, unfortunately, right, that would put it back up 3.8. It would put us up here, right? Not good. Not good at all. So we don't want that. We do not want to see inflation ticking higher. We want to see it ticking lower back towards this 2% target. Now, will we ever get back to the 2% target? I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. But we want to see it coming back down, obviously. So what we're seeing now is Bitcoin going ahead and pricing in the fact that we're unlikely to see, or it's bracing. It's bracing for tomorrow. That's what the title says. It's bracing. Who knows what the print's going to be? We don't know. There's some people over at the Bureau of Labor Statistics that know what the print's going to be. Maybe you can call them up and ask them and then let the bros know. No, of course, don't do that. That'd be illegal. Yeah, so I mean, we're bracing. It's sideways. This is going to be a big print. It's going to be a very important print for tomorrow. Today, we got probably a little bit of a hint of which way it's going to go. Bearish, right? So brace yourselves and invest accordingly. What does that mean? Say it plainly, T-Shroom. It means if you got an extra $5,000 sitting around and you were going to buy today, maybe deploy 1.5 of it and then come back tomorrow and see if you can buy lower. And, worst case scenario, it goes higher and you have to buy it higher, or you just wait for another dip, right? That's kind of the way that I'm thinking about it. Now, we've got Render in the thumbnail as well. Let's go take a look at Render. Here it is, RNDR. So Render, let's throw up the Bollinger Bands on the daily for Render and see what we can't pull out here. Okay. So trading well above the Bollinger Band, but a nice fat red wick today. I've been trying to get a little bit of exposure to Render, but I refuse to buy overbought assets. Now, I'm not saying it's inappropriately overbought, but this thing is it's too bought. It's too hot. It is starting to reverse. It's got 3 reversal indicators here. Money flow has kind of plateaued. Look at that. Very aggressive movement to the upside and then a plateau. Right? For Render. On the MACD, you're getting those histograms round over and a nice little bear cross. So you could be coming into a period where Render goes ahead and retraces. We may have already seen the retracing, right? So this isn't an obvious short, I wouldn't say, but it at this point, I'm thinking probably a little bit more downside, maybe to the midline of the Bollinger Band, which would give you another 8.6%. Good lord, I didn't realize there was so much. That it was moving so much. It's very volatile. Yeah, who knew in altcoins that there'd be volatility? But there you go. That's Render down 9% this morning. In fact, let's go ahead and let's look at the bubbles here. Let's check them out. Yeah, Render is actually leading lower here. You got WorldCoin and ENA, Athena. Actually, WorldCoin they're doing worse, but Render leading lower here, down 9.4%. Floki up 11, Pepe up 17, Doge, I'm a hodler of Doge, up 4.6%. So that's the market today. That's the way things are going, bouncing back. Selling off. I mean, memes are doing well because of the GameStop rally. Apparently, GameStop's up a bunch in pre-market. Let's go take a look at that. All right. Oh my gosh. Don't tell me this. It has doubled. Look at this pre-market line. Oh my gosh. I bought a little bit of GameStop yesterday. It was very, very little. But I guess I'm up 128% on that. I don't know. So this is pre-market. Yeah. The TA kind of breaks down when you're looking at a stock like this because there's no real rhyme or reason of the levels that it's going to. Well, let's see. Let's see if we can't pull out some. Oh my gosh! So it's actually getting up to some pretty historic levels here. It's only a couple percentages away from. It's only 20% away from these highs back here after the major move to the upside. So, hey, whew, man. Lots of yawning today. I apologize. If you're looking to be froggy today and get crazy and take a little risk, GameStop, usually I say, don't chase things higher. But these meme coins are meme stocks. They're they're a little bit different. Like when the rally starts going, like it sometimes doesn't stop. Man, AMC has a ton of room to run. AMC could do another 3,000% from here. I think GME already. Kyle Fields was saying, let's take a look at AMC. So it's already in pre-market. It's already up 160%. And how much has it done? So just yesterday, the candlestick, was kind of cruising along, nothing to see here, and then all of a sudden, Wall Street Bets community comes to life, and we get 61%. So pretty good moves there for AMC. But now in pre-market, Wall Street is saying, yeah, we're going to go ahead and take a couple of days off here, trading the regular markets, and we're going to go be complete degenerates in these meme stocks. 139% in pre-market here for AMC. So at 9, what is pre-market? Pre-market is the trading data from exchanges that allow pre-market trading. Sometimes you have to pay extra for that. But that's what you're getting. When 9:30 hits, 9:30 Eastern Standard Time, when that hits, that's when the actual market's open, and likely we'll see insane, pretty crazy volatility, probably up and down. But again, my bias here, and I'm not trading these. I did buy a little bit of GameStop, but I guess I am trading it to some extent. But my bias here is that these stocks are going to go. They're going to go higher. Not financial advice at all, but it's just the way these usually go. Like, because they defy reason, they defy logic. I mean, we're coming into what could be a pretty bearish, downturn for the markets, for risk markets, because of these CPI prints coming in hot, right? Jerome Powell is just going to come out and say, hey, look, CPI, we're not seeing the data that we need to see to forecast a cut anytime soon. And then that basically means they're pushing the cuts from fall of 2024 to spring of 2025 to early summer of 2025, right? Which the market doesn't like that. The market wants its cuts now. So we'll see. The other side of the coin, right? Because the Fed has a dual mandate. It's not just inflation, it's also unemployment. The other side of the coin is this: the civilian unemployment rate. Civilian, the key word there. You unemployed? Join the military. The unemployment rate is starting to tick up as well, or at least moving in the wrong direction for Jerome. Now, it's still in a very healthy position right now, just purely on the data, right? It's still very, very low historically. Going back to 1940s, you can see that this is very much the low end of the range by a long shot. Like, this is still very, very good, I would say. If I'm Jerome Powell, I'm not worried about the current unemployment rate, but I may be starting to grow in my worry about the future unemployment rate. So labor market softens, right? The next unemployment print is going to be important. And as much as I hate to say it, it could be the bad news that is the saving grace for the markets. Could be. A lot of other dimensions, a lot of other variables in this market right now. But again, if you're just joining us, as of today, the wholesale price rose 0.5% in April, more than expected. That's a hot print. Okay, not really great. But the good news is that Bitcoin isn't selling off. The meme stocks are pumping like crazy. Okay, some of your meme coins are also doing well. My meme coin section on TradingView, Ordi, Bonk, Doge, Pepe, Snack, they're all up. Right, Pepe up 11%. Sometimes it's like there's discontinuity here. If you go to the bubbles, like Pepe's up 14%. So if somebody could explain to me like how to fix that, like it's generally right, but it's not accurate, not accurate to the percentage, which is annoying to me. But I'm not really sure how to fix that. So Bitcoin not really selling off, and I did point out that we had on the daily a bullish occurrence, which is that we got two candlesticks, it looks like, potential for today, although we still have 10 hours and 30 minutes for this one to close. It's got to be longer than that. No. It's already 9 o'clock, right? But we got a whole candlestick to print above 61.3. All right, let's go ahead and move on into the rest of the news section here. I got a couple of other headlines I wanted to cover, right? But the big news is that PPI came in hot. It's not CPI, right? But PPI is important. The Fed does pay attention to it. So let's go to the chat. Let's see. Bunch of profit taking expected, but man, can we rip? Yes. Yes. So look, if you are going to be throwing your hat in the GameStop, in the AMC, in the meme stock world, have at it, right? I'm not going to tell you not to have fun, not to take a risk. Honestly, I've done it, right? I bought some GameStop here. So, have fun, but just be very careful. Don't do something stupid. Don't start letting those thoughts creep in that you're going to be able to buy a Lambo or put in a new pool, right? Make your quick $50, $100, whatever it's going to be, $1,000, whatever your risk tolerance is, and just go have yourself a nice dinner, right? Take out your wife, take out your daughter, whatever you want to do. Do something fun, but don't think that you're going to make life-changing wealth from this. In my opinion, maybe this is, maybe you've been planning since since January 28th, 2021. You've been planning how to scalp GME, and you've got a crazy 50 leverage trade on it in some market. I don't even know about how you could do that. And you've been planning how to build $1 million portfolio just from one trade. If that's the case, more power to you, but you're probably deranged or really, really smart. Either one. Okay. This next one's going to be a little bit bumpy. This next story here. So based on how you guys react, we may swerve off of it pretty quickly. Kyle Field says, don't use leverage on lottery plays. I agree. Yeah. Absolutely. Fade and Tradfi said, it's a middle finger to Gensler and Wall Street, baby. Just wait till everyone gets it. We need to vote with our dollar. Let them know. See, yeah, I mean, it's kind of one of those things where you just left curve it. Like, don't think about it too much. Just buy GameStop. I mean, I bought very, very little. I don't think I'm contributing to much of a movement here with how much I put in. But I think that I generally don't. I generally disagree. I don't think this is how you signal something to Wall Street, right? But that's me, middle brain, middle curving. So I have to turn off my middle curve. You guys don't know what I'm talking about. Let me pull this up. Turn off my middle curve and just left curve it. Oh my gosh, come on. Because at the end of the day, right, is this going to really turn the needle? I don't know. I don't think so. All right, well, this is one that is somewhat good. Pay no attention to the actual details. I'm just using this as an example. So middle curve, right, if you have like slightly above average intelligence, you're really like overthinking in this. And my instinct is to say buying GameStop is not really doing anything. You're not eroding any kind of propensity for Wall Street to manipulate markets by buying GameStop, right? You're not actually fighting Wall Street by buying GameStop. But that's the middle curve, right? That's in some sense wrong, right? Overly frustrated, sweaty opinion. What you should do is what the right and the left curve, they end up doing the same thing, which is in this case buy and hold crypto, right? But for the GameStop scenario, the left curve would just be go with the flow, buy a little GameStop and shut the heck up, right? I'm generally in this movement of decentralized finance, of moving forward and fighting the power in some sense. But my middle curve brain is telling me, how is buying GameStop, how is just buying a corporation where the C-suite is going to disproportionately benefit from it than I will? Like AMC, they sold a bunch of stocks. They did an issuance of a bunch of new stocks during this movement, and they made like $250 million. Right? Is that sticking it to Wall Street? Right? I don't know. But that's a middle curve thought, and I have to turn off those thoughts and just left curve it, right? Just keep it simple. This is a movement, and it is sending some kind of signal. Let's see. Eddie T Eddie PT usually has something good to say. Guys, do me a favor. I know you can get good money on memes. However, memes take out credibility for the crypto market. My uncle didn't invest because it's not credible for dogs to pump to billions. Does it take out credibility for the crypto markets? I think I'm going to answer this the same way I answered the last one, right? Is like you're middle braining it, middle curving, left curving, buying memes has at this point, right? If you bought, especially during the bear market, if you bought Pepe and held it, or you bought Trump, you've done very well, especially if you've taken profit. So I'm going to disagree. I think you're right in some sense, especially the older generations look at meme coins and they're like, oh, crypto's dumb. Look how dumb this is. But what I will say is that, the future is not a boomer mentality. Now, boomers are listening to me. They're like, what the heck, T-Shroom? I hate you now. Don't hate me. Don't hate anybody. Right? But the future is millennials and Gen Z, right? And I don't necessarily want the future to be meme coins and meme stocks. In fact, I don't, right? But that's a very middle curve way of thinking. The reality is that what the market demands is what the market's going to get. And as investing has become more decentralized and easier through apps like Robinhood and Coinbase and MetaMask and whatever you want to call it, away from just the TD Ameritrades and Charles Schwab accounts, more and more people on the left side of the IQ curve are able to invest. And what do they demand? They demand sensation. They demand hype. They demand stimulation, right? They're very far from the Warren Buffetts of the world, right? But don't get caught up over analyzing and trying to explain why things are wrong. Either just sidestep them or invest in them and have a tight stop loss, right? T-Shrum, it sounds like you're being a big cheerleader for meme coins today. Well, it is meme stock season, right? So in some sense, you have to give a bit of grace, a bit of understanding to these stocks, to these assets that are pumping like crazy. I mean, we're going to wait till the market open to see how GME opens, but I mean, like, this is a real print. This is a market print that is real, right? This is 115% in pre-market. You're not going to see that on Apple. You're not going to see that on Microsoft. Crypto Meme said boomer is a mentality, right? And I do not have any hate for the boomers. In fact, I love them and I'm going to miss them. Eddie PT said it does bother because there we go. We got the print live. So we got a candlestick here. We'll come back to this comment. We got a candlestick here up at $60 for GameStop. Goodness gracious. Let's look at AMC. AMC here. Yep, same thing. We got that print up there, and it's going gangbusters. Look at it go. Let's go down to the 1 hour and watch this baby. It looks exactly the same because it's only been open a couple of minutes. If that. All right. Well, I think we've had our fun. Let's go back to this comment here. I'm liking the convo. And overall, if you're just joining, let me give you some real alpha, right? Like these assets, I don't know what's going to happen with meme stocks. That is a complete uncertainty. My bias is that these stocks are going to continue to pump to the upside throughout the rest of the week. Roaring Kitty just, has an army behind him. Whether that's a, sophisticated, coordinated hedge fund army, or whether that's a bunch of retail that are all kind of believing this left curve thought and theory, it doesn't matter because I think that generally when these things happen, they go higher, and that's why I bought a little bit of GameStop, very, very little bit of GameStop. But overall, back in the real world, we got a bad print. We got a hot print here, 0.5%, right? And tomorrow we're going to be getting more prints. And if we do not get a CPI print lower than 3.8, that's going to be bad for the market, right? If we can get one at 3.5, that's going to be real good. And if we get one, obviously, somewhere in between, the market's going to have to decide how to interpret that. But so what does that mean? In reality, in the long term, Bitcoin is the new currency, in my opinion. It is the best. It is the best asset to hold. Right? Second to real estate. real estate would be the next best, in my opinion, right? And then, Microsoft and tech companies that are proven, Google, Amazon, and then altcoins, are going to be somewhere a little bit later than that. But these meme stocks, they're not something you want to buy and hold. There is a cultural moment happening right now, and that moment is happening outside of these prints. These prints don't care, right? And in some sense, there's probably a lot of market analysts looking at the meme stock phenomenon, and they're saying, ooh, topping signal. Let's see how the NASDAQ, or let's see how the S&P is opening today. So it's opening sideways, right? But this is, it's not too difficult to say this could potentially be a topping here for the S&P. This is the hourly chart. Let me get off the hourly. Go to the daily here. Yeah, we're pulling away from the top band of the Bollinger Band. I'm not saying that the S&P is topping, but that argument could be made here, right? That I'm sure there's a lot of analysts that are thinking that. So what do you do? Well, if you don't, deploy now, deploy 25% of your dry powder, and then come back and see if prices are lower. Worst case, you miss the boat. You have to buy a little bit higher, right? I always like that approach. Not financial advice. Now let's see where Bitcoin's getting a bid. Bitcoin's getting a bid today. Very nice. So if we could get this candlestick, the live candlestick today, to close up above the midline of the Bollinger Band, I think that would be good. I think that'd be great. That would give us a nice, now I'm just speaking frankly here, that would give us a nice runway to, if we get a hot print tomorrow, meaning a bad print, a miss, right? We come in if we come in higher than 3.8, ooh, that would not be good. Right? If we come in higher than 3.8, then closing above that midline would just give us one more line of support to be able to stop the downside sell-off, right? Then we would have this downtrending line of support. We would have the 613, this 61,300. And then we would also have this block that I like here at 60,000, good psychological number. And then from there, it just kind of goes lower and lower. I don't think we're going to get a 6% sell-off tomorrow. It would take a 10% sell-off to get all the way down to the bottom of the golden pocket. I don't think we're going to do that. We might, but probably not. It just depends how this print goes, right? If the print's bullish, then we could see that could be the catalyst for Bitcoin to finally break out of this freaking triple failed breakout. Now it's good because Bitcoin's spending, it's repricing to the upside generally, the upside of this downtrending line of support. So that's bullish too, right? I didn't see anybody comment on the ascending triangle pattern that I identified here on the wicks and on the candlesticks. You could do it for that and the candlesticks. I don't know. Maybe it's a bad draw. Did I skip over your comment here? Eddie P. I wanted to read it, and I think I skipped over it. Eddie P says, it does bother me because the news outside are always the shock news. So people just say it is a Ponzi because no one would invest in an image of a dog for billions. Brother. So who is putting money? Our kids? Well, really rich people are putting a small percentage of their money. And then, yeah, it's a lot of younger people trading meme coins. And by younger, I mean millennials and Gen Z to some extent. So yeah, it's definitely younger people, but it's also very sophisticated traders trading with just a small portion of their overall holdings. All right. Let's see. We've got a lot of thoughtful comments here. I don't want to just skip over them. Lion in my pocket said, I think memes help introduce newcomers to crypto. I just wish more people move to real projects than get here when they get here. Doge got me interested, but I don't invest in meme coins now. So you are one of the good ones, right? We talked about this yesterday. I don't know what stream it was on, but we talked about this yesterday. That people come into crypto usually through Bitcoin or through meme coins. They either come in and they're like, I'm going to make a bunch of money and I'm going to make a bunch of money quick, right? Or they're like, ooh, Bitcoin, new technology, decentralized finance, an alternative to the dollar, alternative to the euro. And then, either they remain a Bitcoin maxi or they start to buy some altcoins as well. And they understand how decentralization can have multiple use cases, not just a store of value, Bitcoin. Or they come in through the meme coins and they're like, okay, I got burned a bunch. I made a bunch of money and then I lost it all. And now I'm interested in this whole crypto thing, right? What is crypto? How are these coins able to exist? Why do people value them and why do they trade them? And then if they ask those types of questions, then they more than likely will start investing in the Solanas, the AVAXs, the Cardanos, the Chainlinks, the Ethereums, whatever it's going to be. But a certain percentage of both entry points just fall off, right? With Bitcoin, it's because they're impatient or they overbought and they have to pay their rent. And they're like, crap, I got to sell all my Bitcoin. And then it never come back. And on the meme coin side, it's like they get burned and they were only in it for the money, not to learn anything, not to understand what the future of finance might look like. And so they just go on to the next get rich quick scheme. And next thing you know, they're trying to pop up a Shopify account and sell widgets from China, whatever it is, right? So I think that's the story. And then there's also like the Wall Street entry, which is kind of, I think, a little bit different, where they understand. They've been kind of passively researching crypto for a while. They have buddies who have been researching, and they already know what they want to buy. They're just waiting for a dip. And they probably aren't going to get one that they want. Like they're not going to get a 30 or 70% dip from here, I don't think. But they were never looking at crypto as a new technology. They were looking at it as, well, no, they were looking at it as an emerging technology that is going from speculative to high risk, and then it'll go into risk, and then it'll go into, game on. Now with mainstream, Warren Buffett's buying it. So we went long today. Hope you had fun. We'll definitely be talking about the CPI print tomorrow. It's going to be interesting to see how that comes out, because that could be a big one. That could be a big print. So I'm definitely expecting volatility. It's interesting, the timing here of Roaring Kitty. I wonder if it's kind of like a coordinated distraction from what could be a pretty bearish moment in the markets, kind of a last hurrah for folks to make back some of the losses that they had for their hedge fund through some of these meme stocks. But we'll see. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I think for me, I'm not selling anything. I'm not, I'm just continuing to DCA into projects I have high conviction in. My last buy was Injective, and then I had also bought Ondo and Pendle. Now, those haven't done particularly well since I bought them, right? But I'm buying them for a longer term hold. I bought a little bit of GameStop, but guys, it's not that much. It's just for fun, and it honestly was just to see if Robinhood was going to let you buy GameStop. So, all right, bros, have a great rest of your day. I'm going to see you guys at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I don't think Tim's going to be joining us, but we'll see. He might be feeling better. Probably not, though. That's not usually when you're sick and you have strep. It's not a one-day thing, unfortunately. So, anyway, see you at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you're trading, keep those stop losses tight, and if you're human, stay hydrated. Adios.
Trying to make paper, turn that better to cake. Money like Lego, connect the dots that bank. We are investing bros. We are investing bros. Army pipe, lethal on trade. Entries and exits, worthy of praise. Tim, the professor of the TA. Shout it out loud on the PA. T-Shrooms news, got the word. Doing better than what he deserves. Beamer, leave no evidence. Soon fly coop with his dividend. Trying to make paper, turn that better to cake. Money like Lego, connect the dots that bank. We are investing bros. We are investing bros.
Investing